Load it up, Carl. This shit feel like game 7. Put lines up through my S's. Wake up in the morning, count my blessings.
Welcome to the Money Down. We got artist, entrepreneur, community activist, businessman, community leader, Michael Bivins kicking it with us tonight, man. Appreciate you taking the time out your busy schedule.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm happy to be here, man. I know we're in the midst of the finals.
Yeah.
We all seeing it. We did Thursday, we did Sunday, and it just feels good to be from the beam. But more importantly, we've been trying to get this interview a couple of times, man. So I just want to thank y'all for having me. It's one thing to give your word, and it's another to stand on it.
Yeah.
And J-Dub, you've been good to me, man. Your jersey is hanging downstairs in my cave.
Already.
So this ain't no TV. We ain't clickbaiting. We talking real talk, and I got tickets. I got tickets to watch you play football, and took 3 good friends, and we had a hell of a time, man. So thank you for being gracious and introducing me to your crew. D and Dub.
Yeah.
That's what I call them, D and Dub, and we all right, man. So where we at tonight on the Money Down?
Yes, sir. You talked about it, son. The Boston Celtics, man. The city on fire right now. They up 2-0. NBA Finals were just here 2 years ago. Back at it, and the boys look, hungrier than ever. They're really taking it to the Mavs early on. Luka balling, doing his thing. Kyrie struggling. They struggling to get everybody else involved, but that's what the Celtics have been doing. Everybody's been doing their thing, defensively, offensively. Just kind of want to see, you think it's a wrap already? You think they sweep them? The Mavs get a game? Now, what do you see it look like going for the rest of the series?
To me, right, I just think when I think of the Celtics, I think about Brad Stevens on the court as a coach. I think his maturation and understanding I need to go upstairs and see it from a different level was one of the best moves the Celtics could have made. I think the coaching issue a couple of years ago allowed the young boy to get the seat. It's almost like Bledsoe to Brady. Some things have to happen for some people to come in. And I think bringing in Sam Cassell as an assistant coach is putting a veteran, putting wisdom, and someone who was there in '08 on that bench to help the young players who need to understand where they are in this series. And I also think Jrue Holiday coming to the Celtics, to me, was like a winner who knows what it's like to win a ring, that Milwaukee mentality. And then, all of the other pieces we're all familiar with, that are great. But I just feel like those pieces there as a ball player, when I'm looking at the team, I'm like, once you finish looking at the front cover and you actually look into the story, you can see some of the beautiful situations.
And you kind of hit perfectly on it, talking about Brad Stevenson being on the court and then moving up to the front office. A lot of coaches, and we got fellas, we know a lot of this coaching thing is ego driven. So for you to have to be able to realize and see, like, maybe I need to take a step back and let somebody else handle it. We could take this team to the next step. Because Boston's been in this situation for the last couple of years. Maybe JT done been to the Eastern Conference Finals, maybe 4 or 5 times, over and over.
Right,
so for him
to
see that, and then for him to add key pieces, like you said, Jrue Holiday, Porzingis, man,
Porzingis, right?
Them two guys are, and they hooping right now in the finals, man. Obviously, with Porzingis, we're dealing with some of the injuries, but just how he been able to get to his shots, play big and be that presence in the paint. To deter the guys like Kyrie and Luka who make a living off getting to the cup. You know what I'm saying? Just some of the pieces that he's added. Derek White, all the players, when they got to the finals this year, they was ready, man. They remember that 22 series against the Warriors, which James, we feel like they should have won. You know what I'm saying?
They had their chances.
Had their chances. Now they in it, and they doing it.
This is live, right? This is Money Down. We could keep it funky, right?
Yeah, we keep it funky.
I'm gonna turn up my light. Hold on, baby. I feel like I'm a little too dark in here. All right, here we go.
There we go. Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Right. No, but they like you said. So they almost remind me of my teams who we was playing on the Patriots. Is like obviously you got your star players, but Everybody else, who's kind of like a role player like how I was, they being a star in their role. Porzingis doing his thing, blocking shots, hitting timely shots. Derek White, doing his thing. He ain't going to score, 20 plus points probably every game, but he going to have like 3 blocks, some steals, D up, Drew Holiday doing his thing. He scores points when he needs to, and he hoops on the offensive side when he needs to. So I think that's why they've just been the best team in the NBA, all season long. Everybody is being a star in their role. You hear Jason Tatum, the chatter talking about JB versus, JT, who's the better player and all. He's like, look, man, we understand everybody tries to divide us and see, who's the better player. But when it comes to us, we play off one another. Everybody's gonna have their nights. Sometimes it be both of our nights. Sometimes it be one of our nights. But we right where we need to be. Like we 2 games away from getting the chip. So I don't really care about none of that. We can talk about that after the season.
I definitely want to make sure. Give kudos to JT though, especially amongst all that talk. Right, being able to take the step back, be the rebounder of the night, being the assist man of the night. Not making your spotlight too big. Right, because that's how you lose games. You start trying to take everything on your shoulders when you got everybody else on your team like Porzingis, like Jaylen Brown, you got Derek White, you got Drew Holiday, Al Horford, you got people that can put the ball in the bucket and being able to play as a team and utilize the other guys next to you. I mean, I gotta give him hats off to him about not letting his spotlight get too big.
Yeah, man.
But you know what though, man? No, I was gonna say, but you know what though? I'm not mad if he gets more cocky though, Warren.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because MJ was cocky. Gary Payton was cocky. Julius Erving was cocky. A lot of the greats have a cockiness about them. Sean Kemp was cocky. You didn't want to be in their way, right? So you look at it like, we look at him like he's from Duke and he's quiet. Even Jaylen Brown don't talk a lot, but he's cocky. When you see him on the wing, he's at the foul line, ain't no one in front of him. You look like he about to do something real funky, right?
Yeah.
And you as a fan, we watching, we waiting for him to just cuff it and buff it. That's his cockiness. And you know what? The Celtics, they're not like the Pistons or the Knicks where they just putting them on their butt. So to see them come into it and want it in the fight, I hope they get even more cocky because you know what, man? It ain't easy to make it to the Super Bowl. It ain't promised you're going to make it back to the NBA Finals. So you got it. They've been there 22, 24. So what's that? 2 times in 3 years?
Yeah.
That's since 2008. So, go ahead, D. What's on you? What you going to say?
And so I wanted to ask you, right, C's fan for life, born from the bean. The last time y'all won the finals was 2008. So compared to that 2008 team with obviously Ray Allen, KG, Rondo, Paul Pierce, how you feel? you taking 08 or you rolling with JT, JV?
You got a 7-game series. Who you got?
7-game series. Who you gonna take?
Listen. There's so many stories I could go with 08. And there's 4 of us, right? So I'm in new edition. You got to learn how to pass the mic, right? Yep. Let me see. Can I tell you my story about 08 and hopefully it answers your question?
For sure. Yeah.
All right. This is long story short. August 07, they made the announcement they were going after KG and Ray. I never really was at the Celtics games all the time. I knew my man in the ticket office. Soon as I think who went first, Ray went or KG went? I can't remember.
I don't remember exactly.
I can't remember. Whatever one of them went, I got word the other one was coming. Yeah. So before the announcement, I called the office. Bam! Put down the credit card. I bought season tickets, 3 seats, 2 rows off the floor. And I used them for every person I knew in the Hood family because I didn't go to all 41 games. So we all was just picking games. It was like a community tickets, right? Then I called TNT and I said, it's about to be lit in Boston, but y'all are not catering to the players. You only asking them about their shots, how they feel about winning, how they feel about losing. I say, this generation want to know about their car. They want to know about their mans and them flying in, what party they going to, what's really in their headphones. Are you paying attention to my 1,500 boots I got on? Like there's a lifestyle happening in this league, and you have to showcase that and you might get another statistical answer because they feel like you caring about what they're putting into themselves.
Yeah.
So I created my own job at TNT. I became the lifestyle interviewer of the TNT, and I became the face of the beginning of NBA.com. NBA.com started in 2008. So at the All-Star Weekend in New Orleans, when you turned on NBA.com, you seen the little picture of Mike Bivins. I was on the cover all 3 days, right? So I had a show going on, right? Stay with me, D.
Yeah.
I got the show going on. I'm on every week. I'm on TNT.com. I got the tickets going on. Now we get to the Lakers. Final game. I'm in the seat. Wifey's having the second baby. She pregnant. You know what I'm saying? It's getting down to the last 3 minutes. This is the realest thing I could tell you. I got on my all white linen. I think I'm fly. I'm getting ready for the win, you know. And you know, in the Celtics and NBA game, you know what they do as the clock gets getting lower? They put the cops around the court so that they can create that wall, right? Every person on the Celtics turned around and said, "Come here, money." I left my wife pregnant. She cursed me out later. I ran down the steps. I went past that. If you look at the 2008 last 2 minutes of the NBA Finals game with Kobe, I'm on the sideline for 2.5 minutes. I'm doing this for
that's
2 minutes.
That's cold.
Yo, J-Dub, I'm doing this for 2 minutes. I'm clapping too much. I'm too hype. I'm too excited. I look real crazy. And then guess what happens? Here comes Paul with the Gatorade. I'm like, oh shit. He's like, move out the way, Mike. Then he dumps Doc Rivers with the Gatorade. I got Gatorade all over my white linen suit. And I'm really hyped. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, bring it on, right? So I'm there. Now, this is the craziest thing. As an athlete, there's a few things that mean a lot after the game. When you cut the net, you get your award. You know, whatever, your MVP, right? All of the Celtics, long story about the end. They all run on the court. Everywhere. All the way to the anything's possible and all that, right? Guess what I did as a ball player? I went and grabbed the rock. Right? Stay with me.
You got
I got the game. No, stay with me, D. I hope I don't lose my credibility, but stay with me. I got the rock. But guess who my man's was? Sam Cassell. So I said to myself, this ain't my moment. I run over to Sam, took the rock, cuffed it in the stomach. I said, yo, this is yours. When you go to the garden on the second floor with the suites, there's a big, 35 by 35 black and white picture of the Celtics. Sam's in the picture holding the rock. So my question is, I love 24, but I gave birth in 08.
Okay.
All right, it was some dogs on that team too. So
the question is, who would I pick? I would probably pick the team that made me feel like somebody, but I'm rooting for 24. That's the best way I can say it. I felt like I was loved by some dogs. The Big Three and Posey and House and Perk, you know what I'm saying? Everything was just a whole nother type of flavor. So that's why I said I hope I don't lose you. But I wanted to tell that story because I don't share that story too much.
That was dope.
I don't share that story at all.
You got a chance to see. I mean, a lot of people don't get a chance to see Kobe hoop in the finals, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like that whole series as a young kid, right? That was in 08. I was in either seventh or sixth grade. You know what I'm saying? At that point, I got that feeling of like when I heard my older cousins talk about like a Jordan in the finals and him facing these dope teams. Like that's what basketball about. You know what I'm saying? The story behind it, and then the legacy between the Lakers and the Celtics. Like,
let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something, man. For me, I feel like I've been living my best life because I started out as a ball player. I came in the music business. I done put in work and bust many cats, but literally, I whip that ball like a cat pick a yo-yo. You know what I mean? It's what I do. And Kobe's last game, right? In the Garden, the last one, not that one, D, not that championship. He was hurt. He was playing injured. He's never coming back to the Garden. This is it. I ain't never in my life stood in the hallway for somebody because I respect the shower, interview, family. You don't want to push it. Like even with J Dub, I didn't go stand downstairs once they got off the field. I just hit him on the text, yo, thanks for the tickets. You figure you catch up with your mans and them later. I told my wife, I say, listen, this ain't us, but I ain't trying to be Mike Bivins. I'm trying to be Michael, the fan of Kobe. I stood in that hallway for an hour to say hi. He wasn't opening the door. He didn't want to talk to nobody. You know why? He was in that thing, that ice joint,
Yeah.
ice in his legs. He had the tape over this knee, the tape over that thing, the arm here. And guess what he said? Tell Mike to come on in. So I'm walking in. He ain't really got a lot of clothes on. I'm like, Cole, you might want to put on a shirt, man. He started laughing. He said, hold up. Don't tell me a Boston Celtic want to come in my room. I said, would you stop? So, Kobe was talking that stuff, and wifey took out her phone, and she filmed me and Kobe talking for about a minute in his last game. But I didn't put the footage up when he left us because I felt like it was sacred. But the point I'm making to what you said, some moments are special. And in that Garden between '08 and Kobe, man, I lived things that kids from the hood only dream about.
Yeah, that's dope.
I got lucky enough. Kobe came and spoke to our team. Pretty sure it was a few years before he ended up passing. Just to hear that mindset that he had going through, like the regimen he went through, from a morning, from the off season, during the season, just the type of leadership qualities that he had is definitely, second to none. So I can only imagine. I never got to see him, play in person whatsoever. But I already know in the finals and Kobe in it, it's tough to, come out or win. It's kind of like going up against Mike in the finals 100%. You touched on it some a little bit, like being, a man in the community. You got a basketball court, named after you, in the city where you from. Where'd that all come about? Obviously, I know you was a big time hooper, in the hood there. So what does that mean for you to have your name on a basketball court there, to see the kids and the youth really thriving in there?
Bro, Boston is an Irish town, right? We don't need to fool ourselves.
Yeah.
We in the hood, we have our section, right? Since I came into some money, I was raised by two basketball coaches who are like my big brothers. And I noticed that some of the community centers was lacking bus trips to the Six Flags. And some of the recovery buildings, people still enjoy music, but they couldn't afford to go to Providence, Rhode Island to see us in concert. So the first thing I did quietly is I took a bunch of recovering addicts, bought them 50 tickets, put them on the bus, and they came to see New Edition in Providence. So they put on the best clothes they got in the shelter, and they went. And I introduced them to everybody, and it was just like tears because they never thought they could get close to who they considered to be stars. But to us, we're from the hood. We're hometown heroes. And then I did all of these community centers and day camps and stuff. Then I went and attacked the girls in high school. I threw a cheerleading contest for the girls that got to be outside in the cold in the school time for football. So I started moving around the city doing things that I thought needed help. And I did it over and over and over. I never called the Globe. I never called the Herald. I never called WBZ, ABC, or CBS. I never hired someone in PR to say, hey, look at what this kid is doing. He should make the news. Or When you give out a turkey, you tell the cameraman to come. I'm handing the turkey to somebody who don't even want their picture taken because they feel like something in life they fell down. So why you want to use my face for your satisfaction?
Yeah.
That's what I'd be like. Don't film people getting turkey. It's quite humbling to stand in line for some turkey and fixing. It's nothing for us to take a picture about to be proud about,
Yeah.
So I did all of that, and then one day, all of the community leaders, bro, they said, you know what? He's out here running this tournament in the hood. There's thousands of people, no arrests, 100 cops. No, nobody do this. They do this at the Ruck in New York City, or they do this at the Drew League in LA, or they do this in Chicago. And they said they wanted to do something for me. So they went to City Hall and they had to sign, what's the stuff when you got to get the signatures?
Petition.
That's it. That's it, bro.
Yeah.
Right. So they said they needed a couple of hundred. They was into 4,000, and so they got it cleared. And then Marty Walsh, the mayor, from Dorchester, he had his story, but he like us. He could get on this call and talk like Marty talked. That he cool in the mug,
Yeah.
and he sanctioned it. Man, they put $2 million down on the park, renovated it. Man, we got the bright lights. It looked like 2:00 in the afternoon that night out there, man. You know what I'm saying? The court is gray and then I asked him in closing. I said, "Yo, check this out, right? I know y'all put the green sign up outside of the fence in all the parks so that the tourists walking by they can see the name." I said, "But yo, man, listen, the garden is down there. Can we put the name in the middle of the court so when the people in the hood and they see a logo in the middle of the court, it can make them think they're at the Boston Garden?"
Yeah.
That's
And
dope.
he said, Mike, we haven't done that for nobody. I said, listen, man, I only live once, and who knows if you're gonna run again. So there's no rules.
Yep.
That's why we got that. That's why we got that big green logo with me and his name. And that's what it is, bro.
Yeah.
I was quiet about it, and it just came back loud.
Man, I want to make sure, man, we just give you your props, bro, because, during, this time, you got a lot of people that, I don't want to talk bad about people, but that are selfish. They keep stuff to themselves. They don't do things for the community. So just hearing about everything that you've done for the community and that you still do for the community, for the youth. I mean, I know that's something that James and Sojourn and myself, we talk about a lot, is wanting to impact the youth, the next generation. And so hearing about the things that you're doing, man, I just want to salute you and say, man, hey, we appreciate you. And I know the community does and shout you out, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Warren. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and I think so much Warren kind of talked about it about just impacting the generation, man. So much of it is just seeing somebody and them being touchable, right? Like might be you a big dog in Boston, worldwide, but especially in that Boston community, you're a big dog. So somebody growing up, if I can see, dang, like I can actually touch and I can relate to Mike B. Just like Warren said, give me your props, man, because a lot of people, especially people that do touch, like you said, touch some real money, they do go ghost and they become, untouchable. But for you to be able to give back to kids and them see that as an example of, man, shoot, when I go hoop, I feel like I'm in the garden. Or there is somebody that, been successful that I can kind of like, that can give me that little bit of sense of hope that I can make it. We appreciate you for that, because this is what this pod is about, man. Just giving back to the younger generation.
Nah, and let's not get it twisted, money. A lot of people don't have the mental capacity to sit in the hood and run a street ball tournament. Because you know what you got in the crowd?
Yeah.
You got the hustler, you got the killer, you got the drug dealer, you got the addict, you got someone who just got out last night, you got someone who frustrated because they can't pay the rent tonight. There's so many things going on in that audience that you have to understand. Yeah, some people want to go to the hood and do something for the community, but you have to have the mindset of who you're catering to so you can understand what you're walking into. And for me, I've never walked in my park as an entertainer because the mentality in my crowd isn't one of entertainers.
Yeah.
The mentality in my crowd is by any means necessary. And that's my mentality as a person. When I'm walking through there and taking pictures with him and taking pictures with her and money, it's all kind of walks in life. And you right, you sitting there, D, for 3 and 4 hours. So guess what? You're stagnant.
Yeah.
You ain't moving around. You're just sitting there and you're in that jungle and you're trying to be entertaining. And it takes a lot out of you, man. But I feel as though when you born and raised in it, you just tap back into it because that's your survival kit.
Yeah,
and that's how I attack it when I'm in the neighborhood.
100%.
And I say that to any one of us. We all got to know what we walking into before we get there and never lose sight of who you are. Just stay on guard no matter what.
100%.
It's real.
Sorry about that. And, basketball was your first love. You was a hooper. What made you, take that leap of faith and, want to join, the music industry? Because that's not an easy thing. We all have hopes and dreams of making it in the sports that we in. Some of us are going to make it, some of us ain't. And then for you to, make that pivot, what made you want to do that?
Shoot. Man, let me see. Well,
it's a minute ago, Mike.
I know. The brain is still good, though. I'm still good. It's honestly. Let me just go here with this. Where I was going, my mother told me 1 out of a million make it. Okay, and I thought I was pretty good. Got my trophies. I'm real popular in our project. And even to my other group members, Bobby, Ricky, and Ralph, popular to them too, prior to making Candy Girl. And, it was like I couldn't really get the dancing. I told them I didn't want to wear the disco shoes. Like I couldn't do some of the stuff, right? Then Ronnie joins the group. And, Ronnie came in, he was dancing, tall, light-skinned, handsome guy. And he became like my partner, so I got a little more like, okay, well, he ain't Luther Vandross either, so I don't have to feel so bad, right? So I got somebody I could kick it with, but, Ron had that flow. He could spit a little bit and dance. And so I just got comfortable, and then I realized if this wasn't here, then what would I would have been, right? So it's almost like I thanked them. Matter of fact, I called Ron and Ricky today, bro, and I'm getting back to that answer. And I just told them I loved them and thanked them for being a part of my project because they helped me get comfortable to do what I'm doing. And then I said to myself, but when New Edition ran into its pitfalls, that's when I realized why I'm with them. See, I realized why they was with me. I'm sorry. I realized why I was with them is because I needed to get out. But once we got out, they realized why I was with them because I helped us survive.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes
so
sense.
It made more sense to me later than in the beginning. Because I was able to say, you know what, let's watch this paper, let's fix this contracts, I just found a lane and I actually went on defense. You might as well say I'm the defensive guy that's doing the dirty work. Yeah, I'm doing the dirty work. And man, listen, my whole existence is New Edition. My whole existence is Biv Devoe. And because of that, I was able to do Biv 10 with Boys to Men and ABC. And man, I'm having the time of my life now, man. I'm 55, married, 4 girls, 2 little dog boys. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this today. I get a chance to get down with y'all. I ain't really mad at nobody, man. I ain't got nothing to complain about. And that's my word.
Before we continue, let's have a word from our sponsor, Prize Picks. It's NBA playoff time, so make sure you head over to Prize Picks and bet over or under on some of your favorite athletes' projected stats. And when you use our promo code MONEYDOWN, Prize Picks will match up to $500 on your first deposit. I repeat, when you use our promo code MONEYDOWN, Prize Picks will match up to $500 on your first deposit. You can bet small and win big prizes. What was that feeling like the first time coming back to the hood after going on tour? I know that had to have been an impeccable feeling.
Honestly, I was actually mad because I thought we was going home a week early. I missed 3 games, so I was kind of pissed. And they knew it too. I used to just be like, "Yo, when we going home, man?" It was like, "Night, we all the way in California." I'm like, "Dude, when we going back, man? Come on, this is just too long. I'm missing my game over here and over here." I was like a trophy kid, bro. Like I was chasing trophies, man.
Yeah.
Here I am in 10,000, 20,000 seats. The girls are screaming, and we got money in our pocket, but I still wanted a trophy, man. It didn't even register to me because I looked at it like, man, yeah, I'm like, I ain't Michael Jackson like Ralph. Like, I don't even know what this is, man. This is crazy. It was funny, man. And then, so when I got home that day, I think, Jay, I grabbed my bags. I was so happy to see my friends.
Yeah.
We had our little makeshift hoops in the projects. I think I ran in, hugged my mom and my sister. I dropped my bag, ran back out the crib, went right there to the parking lot and jumped on the court.
Yeah.
I think they was playing a 3-on-3. I told this kid, "Yo, sub, you out." He like, "Mike, this ain't no." He said, "Mike, this ain't no real game." I said, "Sub, you out. Come on, man." He was funny as hell.
I'm trying to hoop.
Outside the hoop, well, I subbed myself in the pickup game. It was the funniest thing in the world to me.
He was ready to go.
Man, I was away from home too long, man. I had to feel that feeling.
So I wanted to ask you, you talked about, not being the flashy or the dancing guy, but, a lot of people that I talked to that grew up in that era, as far as New Edition, talked about you being kind of the brains and what made everything go. So I just want to ask, y'all being so young, where did that business mindset or even that just, I got to make sure all this stuff keep going. Where did that mindset come from? Did you learn that from moms? Did you see that somewhere? How did a young Mike B learn how to pretty much guide everything?
Well, y'all know we need like a 4-part series to tell y'all everything because there's so much I can tell y'all. To be honest with you, bro, I think I realized I was a hustler when I hustled my mom for the first time. And how I did it was every week the older guys would go to the barber shop and get a Caesar. But my mom didn't have money like that, so I only could get a haircut every 2 weeks. But when you go to the game, they was all, crispy line. I'm like, man, he look nice, I want waves, So I'm in the barbershop, D. Old dude, he got a pipe, and he was doing this dude's face with the razor and the cream. I was like, what is he doing? I didn't understand. That's the clean shave. I didn't know what the hell that was, right? But because I'm an OCD kid, I'm pretty neat. My kids pick on me. I'm in the barbershop sitting in the chair. I got a game in 2 hours. And he's just doing too much of this. And I'm like, man, he's taking too long. And then I think I irritated him. I was like, yo, can I talk to you? And he's smoking his pipe. Didn't you see me cutting this man's hair? I said, yeah, but I got to ask you a question. He's like, wait till I finish. So when he get done, and I'm getting to your answer, he looked at me. He said, what you got to say? I said, man, I just want to say your floors be dirty all the time, man. Why you got dirty floors? Right? I said, can I ask you a question? He said, you just asked me a question. I said, I got ask you one more. I said, if I sweep your floors every week, man, can you give me a cut every week? He said, grab the broom and shut up. So I just sweep it. But remember, D, mom gave me money when? every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
So that money she was giving me,
In your pocket, yeah.
why? Because I'm sweeping. Right. So when I got to the group, this is what really got me. Now that I'm going to get to the ending. When we got off that tour bus that I'm sure y'all heard, we had like $1.87. They took our money. You know, that's documented in, I think, the VH1 Behind the Music, right?
Yeah.
And so guess where I went, Warren?
Yeah, that stash.
I went back to the court, right? No, not the staff. I went to the court. All of a sudden, Bobby and Ricky's running through the projects, you know, because they can't call me. I'm outside playing ball. And they like, yo, man, our mom's just mad in the mug, man. And I'm on the court. I'm like, what's wrong? It's like, yo, man, they took our money, right? This is real animation. They took our money. They can't even come to our house. I said, who took our money? I'm the dumbest member in the group at this point. I don't know why they mad. They said, you know, they took our money. And so I said, well, how much money do we have?
Yeah.
They said, we got $1.87. And me, right, bro? I said, yo, man, I keep $2 in my pocket every day. I can't help it that y'all are 13 cents short. That ain't my problem. Right? And they looked at me, and you know how back in the days you go like this? They flicked me off. And I went back to my game. So I went in the house, right? And I told my mom the story, bro. She said, is you crazy? I said, what, ma? She said, they're trying to tell you they took your money and you talking about $2. I said, ma, they short. I'm not short. She said, sit your butt down. And she broke it down to me.
Yeah.
And then I realized I need to find out how to help.
Yeah.
Because it bothered them more than it bothered me because I wasn't in love with what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was just liking what I was doing. But they're quote unquote stars. They're singers. They're talented. So I learned it from that particular moment there that I need to find a role that could be effective. And that's what it was.
And you had this on your mind at a young age too, and obviously you've carried that to where you are now in your career and your profession. You know, with what you've been doing. Like, what piece of advice could you give the younger generation? Because now they coming, you know, the younger generation coming into some money, athletes, artists, all of that. Like, what piece of advice could you give them?
You know what, Warren? I don't know if there really is a friendly accountant. I don't know if there really is a friendly manager.
Yeah.
You would want to give You would want to give somebody an advice that you feel as though they're going to do right, but people play on ignorance.
Yeah.
You understand? You can see it right through the door. Yo, I don't want to do nothing, but you know what I'm saying? Just make sure the IRS ain't on me, you know what I'm saying? And yo, every now and then I want to be able to buy me something, man. But yo, it's your responsibility, man. I ain't really got time. I just want to go to the club. I just want to buy my car. You know what I'm saying? You got everything. Huh?
People taking your money.
So you figure, right? You figure there's more that don't make it than there is that did make it, right? Yeah. But everybody can't get next to that person. So the advice I would give them is this. If you make $1, I know you want to go to the H&R Block. You figure, let me keep it hood and run up in there 2 days before April 15th and get my taxes done, right? I would only say this and I'll be done because I ain't no scholar at all of it. But I would say whenever you make $1, it don't matter what bracket you're in. Put 25 cents out of the equation. Just say, I'm going to put this in a piggy bank or I'm going to put it away. And keep the 75 cents. At least you know that right there is your pay toll. You got 75 cents to live 25 days. That's all I would tell them. And I would say, well, get with somebody that at 4 times a year you sit down and know what you did from January to March, March to July, July to September, September to December, and just take time to make time an hour out of the day to see where your life is. You don't have to go to Ivy League school. Just you can see and never give anybody the power of your signature. Control your signature and you'll be fine. Go have a bunch of fun, have a good time, but have a really good piggy bank or a bank account and just say, you know what, I could never touch that. December 31st, that money's going to roll over into something that allows me to go to the club, to buy my jewelry, to do whatever I want to do. Because I know this man ain't coming to my door and putting the lock up on me. Yeah. And I ain't trying to be on TMZ for embarrassment.
Yeah, for sure. And I got to ask you, the new edition, Bell Biv DeVoe, you guys make timeless music. I just want to know, what's your thoughts on the music industry, especially R&B as a whole? The music not the same, you know what I'm saying?
I heard Jermaine was online talking about that he said Sexy Red sold like 25,000 albums or something.
Yeah.
And he was saying that in his time period, if you sold 25, you'll never be able to walk back into the label again because you would be considered a flop. And then some of the younger people say, man, don't nobody listen to albums no more. We just buy singles.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here, right? And I'm like, damn, I want to get in this funky shit. Like, I got to get in here. And, I got to talk about it. I would say that the thing that's really missing is you don't know if the talent is real.
Yeah.
Because everyone's voice is being covered up in another voice.
Yeah.
So what we were used to was people flowing and you could hear the raspiness in the voice, but you got 10 to 15 people that sound like the same person because they all running through the same machine, right?
Right.
So once you get a decent chorus and a hot beat, you don't even realize the verse was whack.
Yep. that's the day.
Right?
That's the day, yeah.
So the talent is different. And guess what? The same thing we are saying now is what our mamas said to it's like that, and that's the way it is. So it's funny how it's repeating ourselves. Oh, we can't relate to that. That ain't music. But guess what? My daughters know all of the words. Their friends know all of the words. And we sitting there going, baby, come on, you can't be serious. You like, no, Dad, this is hot. So, yo, listen, I'm not getting online talking about no youngsters' music. I knew our music got talked about. I would just say this, man. One thing about New Edition and BBD in 40 years, man, we have stood the test of time. Yeah. And I'm just thankful, man. I'm thankful because it's funky out here, man. Ain't no one selling records, bro. A lot of the black artists can't get on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
A lot of the black artists can't get on Jimmy Fallon. Can't get on. What's my man over there that pick on Trump every night? Jimmy Kimmel, right? Right. But guess what, though, right? What we can do is go to Vegas, do a residency, and deal with our audience.
Yeah.
That's the one thing they can't. That's the one thing they can't take away from us is these girls have been with us since they was putting Vaseline on their baby hair to now with kids. We don't all grew up together, bro. So I'm just so thankful we're all living and we're able to stand the test of time. And I mean, shit, Poison. Poison is a part of the family, right?
Yeah.
You can't even have a party without Poison. You can't have a party without Frankie Beverly's Before I Let Go, Poison. And as crazy as to say, Montel Jordan's is at the party. This is how we do it. That's everybody. It's just certain records that's going to be there.
Classic.
And it's classic and it's timeless and it's priceless. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
That's the
I'm
word.
happy to be a part of it. Yeah, I'm happy to be a part of it. But I do want to get in that funky conversation, but I'm gonna wait my turn. I want to talk about it. I want to give my opinion.
So before we we found out we was gonna have you on, I talked to James and Warren about just I want to know where the origin came from Poison, man. Y'all boys was young. Was it a girl? Was it a girl that had one of y'all tripping, heartbroken? What made y'all say, man, I gotta leave her alone because she dangerous with Poison.
Back then y'all made music off of life experience. Something was going
You feel
on.
me? So and y'all was young, so where that came from?
Hey, listen, man. Well, one thing is we didn't write the song. It came from Spider-Man and Freeze. Me personally, I didn't hear it. Ronnie Devoe heard it. Ricky didn't hear it.
Okay.
So he heard what we're feeling. He knew it was going to be hot. I think no DJ wanted to play it. No radio station wanted to play it. The low pro host, she be cut like an afro back then. They didn't even want to play it. The reason Poison got its life is Donnie Simpson played it on Video Soul on BET because nobody was playing it. So the song got broken through a video. And the answer to your question is it's interesting because what we're talking about in this song never offended a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
They never thought they were that girl.
Yeah.
Well, he ain't talking about me, right? So it was kind of like, I don't know who the record was for because won't no one claim that that's them, Never trust a big butt and a smile. Oh, he talking about her. She ain't talking about my butt. So you figure, you figure
now.
Yeah. You figure, I know it might not be real either. You figure, right? You figure us three actually got through the door without someone saying we can't perform that song nowhere. We performed that song at the White House, D. Michelle Obama is driving me. When it was like never trust a big button to smile, she looking at Obama like this. So you say to yourself, yo, we got the illest hood pass ever.
Yeah.
Those lyrics are loved all the way to the damn White House, money.
That's a timeless moment.
That's a gangster joint right there. And guess what? It's one of her favorite records. That's why we was there. So shouts to Michelle.
I tell you,
up.
Me and my wife, we danced to, Can You Stand the Rain? That was our song,
My wedding too.
You know what I'm saying?
So, I had that at my wedding too. Thanks.
Gotta play it, man.
There you go.
I gotta add, out of all the hits, oh my bad.
Go ahead. You got it.
Out of all the hits you done recorded, been a part of, like what has been your favorite and what was it about the process that made it like that for you?
To me, I love the Any Heartbreak album.
Yeah.
Because it's about us. We were going through something. Can You Stand the Rain is really about us. If it isn't love, why do I feel this way? That's really about us. Wrap my mind. Right. That's about us. And then Any Heartbreak, the title of the album and the song on the album, we did a remix. And it just looked like we put a little bit more grit in our R&B sound. And Malcolm Jamal Warner was the director of the video. Eddie Murphy let us use his house. And Heavy D is my bodyguard in the video on my rap part. I feel as though New Edition made a turn from where we were going. And once that video came out and that song came out, it just seemed like everything just came a little more. So to me, I might not mention the Telephone Mans, the Cool It Nows, like Jay said, the King Stand the Ring, the lottery picks. That's what I'll call them. Mm-hmm. I'm an intangible guy. I really like it when we shift things we do when we shift. So I'm a shift and I'm a void killer. I sometimes overlook the lottery pick. So That's really was my favorite record, the Indie Heartbreak remix in video in that time period.
For sure, man. We know we could keep you here all night talking ball, talking life, talking experience, but we won't hold you up too long. We appreciate you, taking the time out your night. It's been all love since I met you in 2016 after that Super Bowl. Meeting you after the parade and everything. From that point on, like I said, we've had a cool bond.
We had a great relationship,
Yeah.
bro. You've been good to me, man. That's why I went to my spot, framed it up. I got the 2 pictures there. I got the pass that I got to stand there to take the picture. But I wanted to say this in closing for y'all's audience. Please, if you can, go to the All Black app and look at the Hustler 617 Mike Biv docufilm. I directed it. It's a story about sports and music. Everyone's in there. I get to tell people how I introduced Michael Jordan and Michael Jackson. New Edition, never before seen concert. Everyone in the game is in there. Magic Johnson. It's the hood from Boston. It's everything. And it's great. And as of today, I just mastered the soundtrack. So the docufilm has been out since August 24. It went #1 on Amazon, on Apple, and it was a leap of faith. Yeah. And I own it. You know what I mean? And I directed it, and I didn't have time to wait for nobody else because I didn't think they might have wanted to tell my story because it wasn't about throwing dirt on my group members. It's literally about street ball and music and hustling. But as of today, I got my own album. It's the soundtrack. Slick Rick is on it. Snoop Dogg is on it. You know what I'm saying? Rev Run is on it. Greg Nice is on it. And that's coming out next. I just want people to understand what I'm trying to give our culture is a docufilm that's already out and the soundtrack, like a Curtis Mayfield, Above the Rim, Waiting to Excel, Boomerang, when we really used to listen to New Jack City, listen to soundtracks that culturally hit us. If you would have asked me 40 years ago would I've been making my own album, I wouldn't have answered. But I want to tell you, I want to tell y'all something. I will personally send each one of you the album before it come out. And all I want you to do, all I want you to do is get back to me and say, Mike, this is what I think about the 12 records on your album. That would mean the world to me.
For sure.
We appreciate
all right.
Here
we go.
Everybody watching, make sure y'all check out the Hustle 617.
617, yeah.
Sir, I checked it out. It's dope, man. You ride in the car, they recording real authentic.
You see I'm with it. Yo, you couldn't tell me nothing, man. I thought I was Superfly. You couldn't tell me nothing, man. I couldn't tell me nothing.
Make sure y'all check it out.
And it's good. Yeah, and it's good to meet you, D. It's good to meet you, Warren. And anytime, man. Look at it like this, man. If Lil Wayne want to hang out with Skip Bayless, why can't I hang out with y'all?
Yes, sir.
Hey, you feel me?
All love, man.
Definitely gonna have you back on for sure.
Always.
All right.
This shit feel like game 7. Put lines up through my S's.